Welcome to the September the 3rd Bladen County Board of Commissioners meeting. Mr. G.C. Brown from Oak Grove Church will lead us in prayer, and Mr. Greg Martin will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Brian.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, for this day that you've given us to live, we thank thee. We ask, Lord, your blessings upon the people that have already faced a storm, those that will face it in the future, Lord. Bless the county commissioners tonight, dear Lord, as they take care of the people's business of Bladen County. Give them wisdom and knowledge to do so. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Brian, you come forward, please. Your lucky night. I'm going to give you a Bladen County pin up in God we trust. For saving prayer. Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Okay, before we approve the agenda, I would ask the commissioners if we could remove item 6D.
I'll motion to remove item 6D.
Mr. Book, second by Mr. Good. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, got a question on two of consent items before we approve them, please, sir.
Well, you want a motion to move them down?
That's what we agreed. That was fine with me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll motion to move
Wait a
down
minute, which one are you talking about? I got to find my slot for it.
2H and 2I.
2H.
And 2I. Move down to what, section 4?
Just wait. Greg, we got someone here to talk about those two?
Yes, sir. I could. Nathan's here, but nothing else.
Okay, 2H and 2I.
Down to section
We'll
4.
move it to 7C and D.
7C and D.
C will be H, and D will be I.
7C.
Okay, now I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
You got that, Ms. Marie? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So I'll ask the motion to approve consent items and agenda with those, removing H and I down to 7C and D, and removing 6D off the agenda.
So moved.
Second. All, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Special recognition, presentation of National Senior Citizen Proclamation. Commissioners. Whereas older Americans are significant members of our society, investing their wisdom and experience to help enrich and better the lives of younger generations. And whereas Elizabethtown and East Arcadia senior citizens they act as catalysts for mobilizing the creativity, energy, fidelity, and commitment to the older residents of Bladen County. And whereas through the wide array of services, programs, and activities, senior citizens empower older citizens of Bladen County to contribute to their own health and well-being of their fellow citizens of all ages. And whereas the two senior citizens in the county of Bladen affirm the dignity, self-worth, independence of older persons by facilitating their decisions and actions, tapping their experience, skills, and knowledge, and enable their continued contributions to the community. Now therefore, the Bladen County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim September 2019 National Senior Citizen Month, Senior Month, and call upon all citizens to recognize the special contribution of the senior centers, participants, and the special efforts of the staff and volunteers who work every day to enhance the well-being of the older citizens of our community. Adopted the 3rd day of September 2019.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for this.
Thank you. Thank you. 4, matters of interest to commissioners. Anyone have anything? Okay, I'll give you an update on Kelly Dyke. All the breaches are repaired. We're in the process, and it'll start Monday, of building some ramps over the dike, the levee, so people can get back and forth, so they won't be destroying the dike or the levee. And that work should start Monday. And I would like to say I was in Kelly today, and I spoke to the preacher, and he said Sunday night they had 9 churches at Centerville Church, Craig.
Yes, sir.
And there was about 150 people, and all of them were praying for the hurricane to turn. So we have made an impact in that Kelly community, and they certainly appreciate everything we do.
Okay, that's one question. Who's gonna monitor the people? Do they have
They
something
got
in
it,
place?
they got a Kelly Dyke Advisory Board.
So they got somebody in place to monitor?
Did they need additional funds, or did
Not
they,
as of right now.
did they need the additional funds that
We
we?
will use some of that money.
did?
Will they be updating the board with their reports, or will we be, like last time, we didn't know what was going on with it, will they be updating us on what's the status?
Well, yeah, we can. We're just trying to get it patched, and luckily we got it, they got it repaired before the hurricane.
My last question is, Mr. Chair, so that means now the, federal or state will take over?
No,
They won't?
that means there's $300,000 sitting in Raleigh that your governor will not approve the budget. Until we get that $300,000, we cannot do the engineering study. We got to do it. We sent out the RFQs on the engineering study. We're waiting on $300,000 to do that, and then hopefully we get the military to come in there and put it back up to standards for the Corps, and that's when the Corps engineers will take it back. If we get it up to the standards, and if we get this money, and if our tiers are willing to do it. There's still a lot of ifs.
That's what I was asking, are we the one that's gonna be responsible for the upkeep of that thing?
No. There's a Kelly Dyke committee, just like this board of
I know
commissioners.
they had one, I didn't know what they were.
We're just-
They
we're
had
just-
shifted responsibility.
We're just assisting,
Okay.
but it's their responsibility. They got signs up, telling people no trespassing, not be crossing the dyke, and they've even caught people, things like that. So they're monitoring pretty good right now, is what I understand, but at some point, we'll turn them loose, and they'll have to come give us support.
Okay.
We're just trying to assist them best we can. Anything else? Individuals, delegations wish to address the commissioners? Revenue Department.
Good evening. I have several items this evening. The first one is a bid of $4,275 was offered on August 22nd for property located at 15845 North Carolina Highway 53 West. The county investment was $4,275. Consider to accept or decline the bid.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Mr. Good. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Item B.
And a bid of $500 was offered on August 22nd for property located on Riverside Road. County investment was $500, and consider to accept or decline that bid.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Dogdale, second by Mr. Bullock. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
A request for a private sale of $4,500 between the previous owner and the county of Bladen was offered on August the 29th. County investment was $4,500. Consider to accept or decline the private sale.
Pleasure of the board.
What?
Motion by Mr. Good, second by
I said,
Mr. Cogdale. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed?
Initially, we had 2 offers on this property, but one was removed from their offer. On August 29th, a bid of $9,830 was offered from individual for 420 Martin Luther King Drive. The investment to the county was $9,830. Please consider to accept or decline the bid.
I'll let a few moments going, second by Mr. Bullock, Mr. Cogdale. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? F.
A recommendation by the North Carolina Department of Revenue was made to the county to advance the reappraisal year from 2023 to 2022. Please consider to adopt a resolution in support of a one-time advancement of the countywide reappraisal from the year 2023 to the year 2022.
Motion by Mr. Cogdale, second by Ms. Trivett. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed?
Thank you.
You get that, Mr. Murray? Emergency service, Nathan Dallas. And, Nathan's gonna give us an update too in his, in between these presentations of where we are with the one.
Good evening. First item A, consider you approving the North Carolina Emergency Management CDBG-DR Community Recovery Infrastructure Program Project Information Form. This was a grant that Bradley put in with the CDBG funds. These are federal funds, HUD funds that come to the state. We got awarded the state got $38 million initially from Matthew. And he put in a form for the town of Bladen to get a water drainage study done in the amount of $45,000. I was contacted once I started, said the form was incomplete, that the money was already allocated for that. So that's what I'm coming to you tonight for your consideration of signing that form to approve, as the governing body, to approve that the release of that money from the state to the county for the specific use of a water drainage study for the town of Bladen.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Brett, second by Mr. Dallas. Any discussion?
That's one question, you said there was an error on it, which that this all has been corrected now.
Yeah, and pretty much the only thing on it that had to be corrected was, instead of Bradley as the point of contact, me, and there were a couple of little explanations we had to put in there that he didn't. The lady from the North Carolina Office of Resiliency and Recovery, my point of contact with him, her name is Mary Glasscott. She actually came down and kind of helped me out with this, kind of coached me a little bit. So I done exactly what they said, put it in, and
Is this study to alleviate the flood in the downtown part of Bladen or the whole complete town?
just the downtown part of Bladen. I spoke with a couple of engineering firms about the $45,000 being enough to cover that. It just seemed like a low amount to me once I seen the form. Like I said, it was already put out there. They had already allocated this before I got hired. So I did talk to one engineering firm that Blamer uses a lot, and he said they would just, if they were awarded the bid for that, that they would just do what they could do for that amount of money and go from there. But in the form, if you've got a copy of the whole form, it shows you in there where the town commissioners have already said that they need to put up money to kind of supplement what the cost would be.
Okay, no, the only reason I was asking the question, Mr. Easton might be the head for this, is, when I looked at the flood, when I went over there after the last storm,
Yes, sir.
it was all the way down to MLK Street, and it went a little further downtown. When with the study impacted that complete area of this, the downtown.
My understanding is it's complete drainage.
It's a complete drain for everything.
It's a complete drainage study, and then, you know, hopefully we'll be able to go forward after this study is complete and help him apply for the money to fix the problems that need to be adjusted.
We can do a whole assessment of everything.
Yes, sir.
So the 45,000 is just for the study,
It's just for the study.
so they're gonna take more than,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'm sure once they do that, it's gonna take a whole lot.
Welcome to approve.
Correct.
Already got a motion.
And Bladen Borough, they have any money set aside for that? Because see, they're part of it.
And a lot of stuff got lost in translation on this, because when this was initially filled out, the town manager or the town administrator was, Daniel was his last name, and he kind of handled getting Bradley all this, because we had to apply as a county, not as a town.
Okay.
So he kind of handled getting Bradley all those numbers, and now they've got a new town administrator, so me and him just kind of been playing it by ear as far as dollar amount or whatever. But nevertheless, the $45,000 will help them in the right direction.
Okay.
So,
But in your statement, you said that they had funds if it needed to be to add to it. to get
so in that
stuff.
form, I seen in there where Bradley wrote a narrative that they, at their leisure, would approve more funds if they needed it. I assume if they don't approve the funds, then they'll just have to do what they can do for the $45,000.
One last question, that I know we had some individuals over the years that come in here and talked about the drainage problem in the Bladenboro area. What's it, others out there, some places out there, would this impact, that study impact all of that? Like, on outside the city limits there, is that gonna be? I'm saying, is the county gonna come in with is it just the city, the Bladenboro town, or would it consider that whole area in that area?
From my understanding on the forms, it's just for the downtown city limits of
Just for
Bladenboro.
downtown, okay.
Yeah, this is something Bradley did. I don't remember it. I mean, I might remember, I don't recall it even happening, so I don't have a whole lot of information. And Mr. Dallas don't have a whole lot of information other than that lady wants him to, they're ready to pay that money out.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know it was put out there. She contacted me as a courtesy,
Yeah.
just to kind of help us to get this project moving.
No, I was
It is
trying to
for the
say-
town of Bladenboro, so it will be for the town.
Okay, but I'm just saying that if you're gonna dump that water off, it's got to go someplace.
Yeah, right.
And I'm just trying to figure out, is it gonna be somewhere for the outreach, so when it heads that direction, we can assist with where it's going, it gotta go somewhere.
Yes, sir, yes.
So that's what I
Of course, that's what the study's for. It'll go where they see drainage deemed fit for the engineers. You know, that's something for them to figure out once they.
Okay.
Yeah. But we will, going forward with these CDBG funds, between Mr. Martin and Mr. Peterson, any projects that we put, it's a 4-step process. I understand a little bit more now. And, we're gonna be getting some more funds for Matthew, because we're a priority county and things like that. We don't know what the split is, but any projects before we submit applications from here on out, because there's several of them in the county, that will be brought before you before we actually submit them to the state.
So since it's a different town manager, Bladenboro, but the town is aware though, if they need additional money, that it does depend, it requires them to pay it, not the county.
Right. We're just the liaison. We're just a hub to get that money, and then it's for that specific
All right.
purpose.
It's just flow through money to the county to the right Bladenboro.
It's just, yeah, that's right. We're just a middleman. We're just for it.
We have no money invested. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Item D, Mr. Dallas.
The form you have in front of you, and I apologize, I don't have mine, I haven't even been to the office today, we'll be on the ELC. But, it showed, the 2 forms you have, if I remember correctly, one of them has all the bids that were submitted that day, the ones highlighted in yellow,
There you go.
and the ones that were, oh, I got you. The ones that highlighted in yellow are the ones that were the low bids for that project. I do know we have one elevation project that was bidded on that day. It came in about, $100,000 over. So, we had to send that back to the state for approval to get that money. But these are the bids that were submitted that day, and these are the low bids.
What's the pleasure, board? Motion by Dr. Othie, Mongoins to accept the low bids, second by Mr. Britt. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item H, Mr. Dallas.
So the resolution as designating applicant's agent regarding DR 4285, I was sitting back there looking on my phone trying to refresh my memory on it. But a lady from the North Carolina Department of Public Safety emailed me a while back. She's with the Division of EM Resiliency. The only thing that form is for, all these forms for all these HMGPs and CDBG, all these grants that are coming out from the state, they have to have a designated agent in the county that says we're overseeing the work, we're approving things. Even though we've hired HCP planning to handle this stuff for us, it still comes back through me, through y'all, and back, trickles down. So the only thing this form is doing is put me as the designated agent for that work, and I think Greg is the secondary. So all our forms, and I think after Bradley left, some were done, and I think Greg was the primary and Lisa was the secondary. And we changed 5 or 6 of those, back in first commissioner meeting in August, I believe it was. So this is just one that kind of slipped through the cracks that she told us we needed, and that's what we brought it before y'all for.
Is there a motion to approve?
Just got a question.
Motion by Mr. Trivett, second by Mr. Dallas. Discussion?
This is the one I had a question on earlier, and no reflection on Mr. Dowling, But what I was thinking that, you know, once we hired him, have we sent him off to any training to make sure that he is fully aware of what the requirements are in his position? Not, so that he's fully aware of the forms and the know-how to handle the FEMA work that's coming before us. Not, no reflection on you. Wonder, have we done our part by sending him to training to maybe to the school of government to learn more about the position that he's holding?
So I could kind of answer
He ain't
that.
had time to go to work.
With my position, it's not so much as other positions like banks or things like that, where you go to school of government. Everything I will need training on is mostly through North Carolina Emergency Management. So there's different classes. I try to hit the local ones so I'm not gone for weeks at a time in Cherokee or somewhere like that. But I have been to a couple in the last, you know, kind of the role I've got. There's classes all the time and the forms and things like that. So I'm fully aware of those and trying to get them as time permits and that thing. But my area coordinator for the state with North Carolina Emergency Management, I've been here 6 weeks now, and I've probably had 14 meetings with her over it, and I can call her at any time. She can help me with forms. They're fully aware that I'm in the system now, so they're sending me all these emails with updates. So I'm kind of right now learning on the fly, but I think we got a good handle on the forms and things like that. I'm not scared to pick up the phone and call somebody and ask.
Well, I'm not doubting that your ability or anything,
Yeah.
but I want to make sure that we are supporting you.
Yeah.
You know, giving you all the training that you need, and as well, so that the citizen gonna benefit from your work.
Yes, sir.
So we want the county to benefit from your work by getting us the different items that we need here for relief for the actual citizens. So I'm not doubting what you know, but you know, make sure you have the right credentials and everything. You know, once we hire someone, when I used to work, we used to send them off to training.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're up to par with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And like, as I said, I want to reiterate that, I'm not trying to put you down.
Oh, yeah, I certainly understand that.
Yeah, you're working hard, I can tell you that much.
Nathan has all the contacts, he's called them. Bradley has spent hours and hours and hours with Nathan and Kenneth and Chase and, the lady that's been over there right for a while, and you'll get it.
They're filling me in, and like I said, I'm learning as I go with these emails. People with the state are helping us out. Maria's aware of a lot of forms that need to be, because I sent her one, and she's like, okay, let's get these done. So,
And you mentioned something about the lady who was coaching you, so.
yeah, Robin Lorenzen is our Area 5 coordinator.
What's her name?
Robin Lorenzen.
Okay.
She's our Area 5 coordinator.
Well, we'll make sure we support you to the fullest.
I appreciate that.
I'm just gonna bring one thing up. Bradley had a couple of certifications. Have you had you have not had the opportunity, and you probably won't until after this hurricane, to get your certification for EMS, or emergency management. Will you get to go do that, or have you had it already?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, as far as the training that I have a fire background. That's kind of my background, and it was the same background Bradley had when he started. But Bradley's kind of had 10 years to there's so many different certifications and what we call task books, or NIMS, different sections that you can get. It just takes time, and you know, when other counties have events, you just have to get in the truck and go and get those task books signed off and help those guys. So I'll definitely be getting those, but it'll definitely take some time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye, Mr. Jones.
We've done several of these before, but what this is part of, without getting into real details, we also have what we call a Dipper region.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Dipper.
Okay.
And I don't know what that acronym stands for, but we're Dipper Region 3. So what happens is we have all the different entities, law enforcement, hospitals, emergency management. We go to these Dipper meetings and request things we need as a region or as an area. Well, back, I think it was a year ago, it might have been 2 years ago, our Dipper region decided that each county needed rehab trailers. So Bradley kind of sponsored that and had Bladen County. this is the kind of the same thing as the Bladen thing, we're just a pass-through. So this $22,000 for this transfer to Onslow County, it didn't cost us anything, the money is there. It's just there'll probably be a couple more of these you'll see on the agenda coming up. But as far as this one going to Onslow County, it will be delivered to us. We already have a trailer assigned to Bladen County exactly like this one. But those dipper assets have to be deployable. So if I call Onslow County 2 weeks from now and say, look, we're having the state fair in Bladen County this year. I need your rehab trailer and I need Robson County's rehab trailer. They'll bring those to us for our use. Same thing with ours. If they call us and they need support, we take it to them. So that's kind of a pass through. We just kind of were the hub for all of these trailers. It's kind of what it boils down to.
Because I think Bradley did something earlier, it's either a generator or something else, then he had to do the same thing.
Yeah, we got a generator.
Or something else.
I think we got a generator 2 years ago. Is the new one we got. So
Let's charge it up.
The only one I want to just ask, I'm looking at this hurricane, Mr. Britt just said 3 in a row. It's getting kind of tough around here, 3 in a row.
Is this pertaining to this?
Just same thing.
Okay.
With equipment, like he's saying, the different thing, like getting equipment in. Do you have the resources where you can reach? Have we provided you with all the resources you need to reach out to these individuals that you?
yes, sir.
Everything
He's
is
gonna
in
answer
place?
that in a minute, I think.
Yeah.
If you give him a minute, he's gonna answer that in an update.
Okay, I just want to know. Do you
But I
have
will
the
tell you, as
resources?
far as these dipper resources, I got a book that thick that tells us what resources are in each county. So if we have something catastrophic here,
That-
like,
where you
we can reach out to those people and they'll bring it to us.
That's why I want to know, do you have the resources where you can get this stuff? Does it get
Yes, sir.
ready to happen?
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Trivett,
Second.
second by Mr. Britt, any
Question.
discussion?
Yes. Item 5 on this document talks about, this has to be approved by Bladen County and county. So what are we talking about? Item 5. This memorandum of agreement must be forwarded to the Division of Emergency Management and approval granted prior to execution by Bladen County and county.
Bladen County.
It may mean Onslow County.
Onslow County. So Onslow County has to present this to their commissioners too.
So an envelope should be entered in word there?
I'm not positive, I don't have that right in front of me, but I think it may be.
It's saying county.
It says Bladen County and county.
I'm wondering if it means to other respective county, I'm just not sure,
Yeah.
because we've done so many with various counties
It does.
that you just put a fill in the blank or
It's the
whatever.
same form we've used for Columbus and Robinson.
Right, we've done this several times already with you all.
When I read that,
We'll pull it down.
Yeah.
We'll pull it down.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Update, Mr. Dallas.
Hurricane update, as far as weather update, I'll give you the latest track I received. This thing is shifted to the west a hair's 10, 20 miles. We're expected to start seeing tropical storm force winds probably sometime early Thursday morning. Right now they're forecasting for us, and this thing's jumping around so much and everything, it's just, they don't know. But they're giving us best guess predictions. Right now we're projected to get 6 to 10 inches of rain. I hope they're wrong. Isolated areas 15 inches. I think Thursday's probably gonna be the day, unless this thing slows down for some reason. I think right now it's only moving 5 to 6 miles an hour, so it's moving slower than they expected. Right now, as far as preparations and plans we've made, shelters are gonna open tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We're gonna open, east is gonna be the pet-friendly shelter, East Bladen. West Bladen is gonna be our special needs shelter. East Arcadia and Bladen Lakes are all gonna be open at 6 p.m. tomorrow. We already talked to DSS and the health department, their staff's in place. As far as requests we've made, I made a request initially for an IMT team to be in the EOC to help out with our operations. They're here, they're already here. We're staging them, they're staying at the training center tonight. So thank y'all for allowing us to get that going. complete, because that helps us out a lot.
And Nathan, it's the same team that was here during Matthew from
Yeah.
Cal County, so they're.
I actually talked to him right before I come in here. A lot of the forms we done that we have to do for the state, they saved all that for Matthew, so we're ahead of the curve on that plug and play. But those guys, with this being my first rodeo, they're gonna help me out tremendously. So, I have put in Jeff Singletary put in a request for a communications team. They're here. So if our radios go down like they did in Matthew, they're here at the training facility. We also put in a request for a swift water team. They will be here tonight. They're also going to stay at the training facility. I got a call from the state yesterday asking if Bladen County could be a staging area for a lot of different things. So I'm trying to keep the training center open for people coming from out of county that are assigned to us, so we can house those people somewhat comfortably before they go out to their assigned points. But I do know tonight the state fed, we assisted about 120 people at the armory that the state has staged here that's probably going to be deployed out to different areas in this region. We're kind of in a good area, and especially since we've got the training facility livable. We still got a lot more work to do out there, but y'all know living in Bladen County, we're kind of hour from everywhere around us, so we're in a good spot. We're in the middle of everybody in our region. So this is a good place to stage resources and things like that. I also, right before I come in here, put in a request for 1,200 sandbags. I don't know if I'll get them, but I put a request in. Water request, we've done that for shelters. My staff, Joey, Kenneth, Chase, and Lane, and some others have been staging generators and drag units and all that today for the shelters. They're releasing public schools tomorrow at 1 p.m. So as soon as we anticipate, as soon as school gets out, my staff to kind of start getting those things prepared for shelters, hooking generators up, and things like that. So I hope they're wrong about everything. I hope this thing takes a hard right and goes out to sea. But what kind of makes me nervous is if that thing starts to turn again late or comes any further inland. I mean, right now, if you look at it, it looks like it's going to run right over Southport. So if it does that, I suspect we'll, not to scare anybody or anything. We've been here before, but I think we're going to see some. There's a 60 to 80% probability that we're going to see tropical storm force winds. We're at about a 30% probability for hurricane force winds. But hurricane force winds being 75 or above.
Now, one concern I had, and I've noticed something, and maybe you can kind of look on this and put it, maybe it's already on the radar, is that the streets in this place will flood so quickly, but no one shuts them down. And I'm trying to figure out how can we get somebody to shut streets down and shut roads down, so to keep people from getting into these things.
So here's the problem, and I put in a request yesterday for barricade and road closure signs, and it was denied within 20 minutes from the state. And their response back to us was, if we have road closures or roads that people need to stay off of, we need to contact DOT. Well, the problem with that is DOT runs out of barricades, because I had fire departments requesting, hey, look, if you can get them to us, we'll put them out, because it causes them more headache with people on the roads and not seeing water, and then we got to get out and rescue them.
That's a big problem. We have accidents and injuries is people in water.
So, and I'll be 100% honest with you. We contacted Nikki today at DOT right beside our place. We got a good relationship with him. He's got a request in for barricades from the state, but so is everybody else requesting. Last time they just ran out. We tried to give them major roads that we thought people might be traveling on to kind of put those out last time, but man, people will always seem to find a way around them things or whatever. But and I do know some fire departments have made provisions. I know Kelly and Batry have both purchased some barricades on their own, out of their own dollars, to kind of alleviate this when we do. And I know a bunch of fire departments have purchased the tripod signs you set up that said roads closed, but a lot of times, man, people will see that water and say, I got a big old truck and take right
They
on
move
through.
them, they move.
That's it, move them out of the way, so.
Mr. Jones, I have two questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Who will be running these shelters? Because the announcement for Bladen County Schools was that the county will be taking over the shelters.
So we initially, the agreement we've got right now, DSS pretty much runs our shelters and the health department. We put in a request today too, at the request of Ms. Terry Duncan, and for a team of 8 nurses to come and help us with these shelters. In the past, what we've done is we've been responsible for the shelters for 72 hours, and then they're turned over to Red Cross.
Right.
The problem with that is Red Cross don't always come after 72 hours. So me as the emergency management director and those guys, we can't depend on them. I mean, I don't mean that
No,
in
you're
a
right.
negative way.
I mean, they have to come where they can. That's
Yeah,
right.
and we've got a point of contact, and we talked to Red Cross today, and we're still under that same understanding. I know with Florence, shelters got extended way past 72 hours, but, I think DSS is prepared this time. I got their shift sheet today, so I think they're prepared, but we are, anticipating Red Cross coming in at 72 hours, but if they don't, you know, we'll make it work like we did last time too.
So Mike, I guess cafeteria staff will be there?
The school will furnish maintenance, a principal, and cafeteria staff.
Yeah, they do the staff will be there.
All we're gonna
What they
do
used
as a
to.
county is be, in charge of the site.
They worry about making a report for the
They
cost.
doing, okay, I want to know, thank you so much. My second question is, do you have a mobile, fuel thing pump yet?
So the county, we
They had one, but the guys couldn't, they had to pump it themselves, and they were exhausted, they couldn't do it.
We actually have a fuel truck now. County
You
does.
do? Okay,
Yeah, we purchased that from the school system.
okay,
So it holds 1,800 gallons, and that's gonna be get filled up tomorrow, I think.
Okay.
So,
thank
so
you.
and we're gonna have somebody monitoring these generators and fuel needs for fire departments and things
Right,
like
that's what
that.
I was.
And I think Kip's already reached out to his people as far as.
That's diesel fuel, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir, diesel fuel.
Thank you.
Mr. Peterson, last time we had this long drawn out conversation about compensation with school personnel. Are they fully aware, they responsible for their own
They're
compensation?
on their own.
So we don't have to have that conversation.
No, sir. No,
So
sir.
I wanna make sure we don't have to have that conversation.
No, sir.
I have just a quick question. Regarding the shelters, I have no idea, are animals allowed to come to the shelters, or is there a specific
These
fees
Bladen.
for the special?
Yeah, last year during Florence and Matthew, West Bladen was the special needs and the pet shelter.
Yeah,
And Dr. Taylor requested this year that if we could kind of separate that.
okay.
I do know that the thing was brought up to me today that there's a couple people with some minor medical needs that have pets that would come, have came to shelters in the past. So if they do show up at East Bladen with their pets, we'll just have to make provisions for those couple of people for their medical needs.
Yes, sir.
Is law enforcement gonna be in the show?
Yeah, it'll be law enforcement. I talked to sheriff after our meeting this morning, said law enforcement will be.
Okay, I
at
know
each
you have a
shelter.
problem with that last time.
But they have a barn over there, they have a barn.
Who was handling what goes on?
Yeah, they do. We had some discussion about
Yeah.
that.
They should do that.
Plus EMS be on the service there.
Yeah, we'll have EMS, there's gonna be stationed at different places in the county. We'll transport people if we need to. We've already made some provisions to get some people with extraordinary medical needs. That paperwork, I think Ms. Terry said it's been filled out and they're making provisions. I think the state medical shelter is gonna have Lansing carry this time. So, I did talk to the hospital this afternoon. They are gonna have a lifelink truck on site at Cape Fear this time in case we have somebody that needs to get transported beyond the capabilities of Bladen County Hospital to Cape Fear. So,
Do you think that you may need, some special trainings or needs for the rest homes, anything like that?
The only rest home is, potential is the West Bladen rest home in Bladenboro because they don't have a generator. That's the only potential need.
That's the only one?
That's the only potential exposure out there, and David was gonna talk to them today.
And you said the National Guard, they got some high water rescue vehicles out there?
They do have some high water rescue vehicles out here. I think every fire department in our county except for 3 have high water vehicles. Now, we have one at the office that's for East Arcadia Fire Department. That's what it's there for. But the paperwork has not been completed yet for that. So we can't use that one. I'm sure if it was a life-threatening situation that we had to use it for, we would just do what we needed to do, but right now we can't use that.
The last time, ADR came into the office.
ADR and we have several, I mean, as far as our fire departments, they work well together, so I know some of the high clearance vehicles from Bladenburg, Clarkton, and other areas went to Kelly to help with that, so we all kind of work together. We've been having daily conference calls with the fire departments to assess their needs, so I think we're gonna be okay.
I just have, what is Kelly? Because it looked, Pender County, New Hampshire County, Brunswick on that end, could get more. I mean, in family fire department,
Man, they've been through it before. I mean, Florence was probably as bad as they've ever seen as far as flooding down there. They have a high clearance vehicle. We've been in constant contact with Pender County. We're actually, if the river gets to a point where you can't cross into Pender County, we've actually agreed today to kind of help them on this side of the river with those residents. So, yeah, we got a pretty good relation. And Atkinson Fire Department and Verdun have been on every conference call we have, so they're fully aware of what our operations is and how our ops channels are gonna work during the storm for fire departments and all that. So,
You have 2 fire teams in here, don't you?
I've put a request in, but they have
I
not.
thought Murphy was already gonna stay at White Lake and one going to Bladenburg.
Not yet.
Okay, heard that this morning.
They might get, Cherokee Nation is here, and they were here at Matthew, I believe, but the state has not released him yet to assign for us, but they're at the armory, I do know that.
All right.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we've been meeting since Sunday on these weather things, and I think we're in good hands with Nathan, and Nathan, thank you for the job you're doing.
Thank you.
Advisor board appointments, Bart, advisor board 2.
Mr. Chairman, I have,
We're on September 16th.
Oh,
September 16th.
16. We don't have no, we don't
You
have.
got nothing to make it 16.
Okay, sorry. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And can we get
Okay.
those out, excuse me, can we get those out early?
They're out now.
Conflict? No, if you have recommendations, can we get those early?
They are, Larry sent those out. They're in this packet.
That's all I know.
They're in there.
The one that's ready to be filled, need to be filled.
Yeah, if you open that thing up, it'll have recommendations from the direct department head. That's where I printed them off of.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks.
Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to briefly review the calendar with you. And just mention that there will be blood drives on Thursday. Well, there likely will be some rescheduled, so let me just hold off on that. There had been blood drives scheduled for the DSS building and the health department on Thursday. On Monday the 9th, the Health and Human Services Advisory Committee meets at 5:30. There is an opioid working group meeting scheduled for the 10th at 2 p.m. Their diabetes forums continue, I think it's on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays at Baldwin Branch Missionary Baptist Church. The Bladen County Fire Association meeting will be hosted by the Tar Heel Fire Department and held at the Training Center on Thursday the 12th at 7 p.m. On Friday the 13th from 10 until 12, there's an Understanding Your General Assembly session that will be held at the Lumber River Council of Governments. On Monday the 16th, the board meets at 6:30 p.m. There's an opioid task force forum that will be held particularly for religious organizations, and that will be held at the Elizabethtown Baptist Church on Tuesday the 17th. There's a forum that will be for law enforcement and EMS on Thursday the 19th at 6:30 p.m. and that will be held at the Sheriff's Office. The 27th Annual Dublin Peanut Festival will be held on Saturday the 21st. And again, the Diabetes Forum continues at Baldwin Branch Church.
Before we leave, Mr. Martin.
Yes, sir.
I know the school system has already announced they're gonna shut down Thursday and Friday.
Yes, sir.
What's the status of our employees? It's gonna be this on hold as we see.
We haven't made a formal decision yet, Mr. Cardell. That's a good question. Likely Thursday, and just based on the predictions now as far as weather, probably Thursday will be a day that offices will not be open. However, we'll make that formal decision tomorrow and announcement tomorrow, but we're not sure about Friday, maybe Friday as well.
I think tomorrow's gonna tell us what we need to do.
We'll let you all know just as soon as we have a better feel for that. Moving over to October, there's a Bladen County Ministerial Association meeting on Tuesday the 1st. On Wednesday the 2nd and Thursday the 3rd, the Bladen County Annual Agam Up Days will be held at the Bladen County Park. There's a prayer service on Monday the 7th at 8 a.m. here. The board meets that evening at 6:30 p.m. There's an opioid working group meeting on the 8th, and the diabetes forum continues at Bone Branch Church. The Bladen County Fire Association meeting will be hosted by the Tobermore Fire Department and held at the Training Center on Thursday the 10th at 7 p.m. The Health and Human Services Advisory Committee meets on the 14th at 5:30. The Board of Commissioners meets on the 21st at 6:30. There's also a Bladen Community College Foundation fundraiser at Lou Mill on Thursday the 24th at 6 p.m. and you all are invited to that.
And the Beach Festival is 25th, 26th.
Okay, thank you.
It's on, yeah.
The Beach Fest.
Beach Festival.
Did you get the East Arcadia Senior Citizens Banquet?
No, ma'am.
You get an invitation?
I haven't seen it.
That's
Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday, the
I think
7th.
it's Saturday at 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
This Saturday?
I think it's
Yeah.
Saturday at 3
So,
o'clock.
at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. If there are no other questions about the, or dates for the calendar, moving on to item B. You recall that Mr. Dean Marsh was in attendance at the last meeting. And we just wanted to let you know that, the Columbus County Board of Commissioners will consider tonight, it's on the agenda for them to consider, participating in this joint beaver program that, our committee recommended to the Board of County Commissioners. We're asking for you to consider, appointing 6 members, 2 from each of the 3 districts in the county, and that is, would be for the next meeting. If we find out that the board in Columbus County does not choose to move forward, we'll certainly let you all know that as quickly as we know that.
And then
So that's just another.
Hitler's on board, if they don't, aren't they?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard that for certain.
Okay.
All right.
So we're gonna get 2 people off each district, and if they approve it, we'll do that next meeting, it'll be on the agenda for next meeting. And David Goodman will be the commissioner on there since he's a farmer. And those beavers,
Well, he'll be representing what district, it don't make any difference.
David will be at large, he'll just be the fire instructor from the board. We'll just bring 2 from each district.
Excuse me.
All right, moving on to.
Let me ask you a
Yes, sir,
question.
I'm sorry.
Should that be an odd board? Odd number?
If Mr. Giddens on it, is that what you're saying, to make it an odd, that would make it odd?
Well, if Dean's on
Does he
there,
vote?
is Dean not gonna be a voting member, or is he just
I
gonna
don't
be?
think, I think he'd be a staff person.
Okay,
I would think, I'm not sure about that.
I think that's right.
okay, you'll be seven, okay. That's good.
Mr. Chairman and board members, we included this draft Bladen County remote participation policy back on the agenda. Just, that was kind of the directive from the last meeting, but I just again want to reiterate that, this matter kind of came to our attention, so we're presenting something to you for your consideration if you are inclined to adopt such a policy.
Mr. Martin, is there any equipment that we would have to purchase in order to enact this?
Just a very small amount, and we understand the cost to be approximately $100 or less, so that's not a
I mean,
major.
I think it says in that where you can see their hand raised.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Does that require them to have Skype the other person on some type of,
Scott, some type
FaceTime?
of, yes, ma'am.
they would have to have an escape account.
So is any,
Well,
is
some
there
type
any,
of account, face time or
interest in
something.
doing this or putting it on the top shelf?
Top shelf.
Put it on the top shelf.
Yeah.
Now, we've been functioning this fine.
Yeah, top shelf.
Top shelf.
Thank you.
All we need to do with this.
Do you need a motion, sir?
Huh?
Put it on the top shelf.
Alrighty, moving on to item D. You all know that we did a request for qualifications for third-party benefits for employees. They're not county, these benefits are not paid for by the county. They're optional benefits that employees can choose to participate in those services if they'd like to. Examples are cancer policies, dental policies, and those various types of policies. We had 5 companies that expressed interest in providing these services for Bladen County. We had a committee of board members as well as staff members who participated on a committee to interview 4 companies. Based on those interviews and the information that was presented, it is recommended that Lacey West Thomas Insurance provide this service for Bladen County for 1 year, and if the board is in favor of moving forward with that, we would come back to you with a contract for your consideration.
Okay, I have a couple questions,
Yes.
on that. So I just first want to make sure I'm understanding it correctly. This is outside insurance that county employees are able to sign up for, but they're not required to.
That's correct.
So, what, I don't know, maybe I should know more about this, but what's the benefit, or why are we offering this to them? Why do they feel the need to have this?
Well, we've offered these coverages have been available to county employees.
Mhm.
We've had multiple vendors providing the service.
Yeah.
And so our goal is to make it much more customer friendly for our employees,
Sure.
to have one broker to shop the coverage
Okay.
and come to us with the best price or best coverage for our county employees. And so
Okay,
it'll just be a simpler, smoother process for all concerned.
Is this something that if they're no longer an employee of the county, in the future, for whatever reason, they're no longer an employee of the county, are they then still able to take this insurance with them?
That is something that can be, those are options that can be included if that's what the county chooses to do. We definitely would have those options